Good morning. I'm Cheryl Oldham, Senior Vice President for Education and Workforce at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and the Chamber Foundation. And I am delighted to be here today with Heather Wingate, the Senior Vice President of Government Affairs for Delta Airlines. And we are going to talk a little bit about a pretty pervasive challenge I think the nation is facing. I think you all, like us, probably don't go a day without hearing something about workforce challenges, skills gap, talent being really important no matter what industry you're in, or for the country as a whole. And so there's really, I think, three things when we think about this issue nationally, which is we're at a unique time where we actually have more positions open than we have people looking. 6.9 open, 6.2 looking, which is a unique position. Then there's also this issue of actual skills gaps, right? We don't oftentimes are looking for people that don't have the skills for the positions that we have open. And then finally, just an awareness issue sometimes about critical positions and job availability and what industries are growing, and I think, you know, no industry is spared, and the airline industry certainly is not either. I think there was some numbers from Boeing talking about airline maintenance technicians and 650,000 that we'll be looking for globally over the next 2 decades, and certainly hear a lot about pilot shortages and things like that. And so I know that Delta, I think, anticipates 30% of your maintenance technician positions turning over in the next decade, and looking for, I think, in that same time period, about 8,000 pilots. So I'm curious if to talk a little bit about the pilot issue. I know you've done some work to create those pathways. I mean, you need to be thinking about that talent pipeline now for Delta. So how are you doing that with regard to pilots?
No, that's exactly right, Cheryl. And I'm glad we're having a chance to talk about this topic. Delta, over the next 5 years, will be looking to hire 25,000 people. So that includes 8,000 pilots that you're referring to, and over the next decade. And so we just in 2018 launched a program called the Propel Pilot Program, which is a workforce development program designed to create an additional stream of pilot applicants. We do draw from the military heavily, from regional airlines, of course, but we are actually partnering with 8 educational institutions, universities, to just broaden that stream of eligible applicants. So students, I mean, what you really want to do is, like you said earlier, you've got to raise awareness. Students may naturally think about a liberal arts degree, but there's some excellent careers within the aviation industry, whether you're talking about the airline maintenance personnel, or you're talking about the pilots, or you're talking about the 1,000 flight attendants that we'll be looking to hire in 2019 alone. So we really see it as a responsibility to create these workforce development programs that do raise awareness, but also ensure that there's really solid training, because that's the issue. You've got to have people with the correct skills. And so this Propel pilot program that we launched just this year with these universities is designed to do just that. So we go in and help develop the programming and the training, and then provide them with a conditional job opportunity that provides a career path along an accelerated timeline.
That's fantastic. And my assumption is that you are sort of well received by the universities who want to partner. I mean, I think it's just so critical that employer leadership is so critical in all of these issues, and really to be a willing partner to come to the table and say, you know, we'll help you to create that pipeline, just for not just for Delta, but for the entire industry.
Yeah, I mean, we think, you know, rather than waiting around for a government program, let's get in there, partner with the community, partner with the universities, and whether you're talking about the airline maintenance technicians or the pilots, make sure that that programming and training is there. It's in our interest ultimately, so it's an investment that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. You know, we even, you know, you want to raise that awareness of aviation jobs early on. We've partnered with 24 junior achievement chapters to get into the high schools and allow these kids to shadow Delta employees, allow them to do simulations. One of the really interesting simulations that I like is an opportunity for these high school students to simulate running a Delta Sky Club. So it piques their interest, it broadens their horizons, and hopefully it leads to excellent job applicants for Delta.
Absolutely, and we are talking, I think, more and more as a nation about this idea of career preparation and career awareness, and this notion that sort of, yes, the traditional maybe pathway is not necessarily for everyone, or even but there's choices out there. And so these sorts of awareness programs with junior achievement and other are really, really interesting. I wanted to dig in a little bit on the maintenance technician position, just because I know you've got, dozens of partnerships with community colleges. Talk a little bit about the importance of that position, and then why you thought this partnership was really important.
Yeah, these airline maintenance technicians positions, we have the Delta Tech Ops facility in Atlanta that I've spent quite a bit of time just in my first year at Delta touring. These are great jobs, and they do require skills. So we, when it comes to the airline maintenance technicians, we partnered with over 40 community and technical colleges across over 20 states. So really trying to pull from everywhere to entice people to pursue these types of career paths that really aren't your liberal arts degree kind of career path, but that really get you a solid job on the other side. I mean, you're talking airline technician would be in airline maintenance technician would be in a situation where, 7-10 years into their job, I mean, they're making 6-figure salaries. These are solid positions and in demand. So again, like you said at the top, we have 30% of our current airline maintenance technicians who will hit retirement age in the relatively new future. 10 years just isn't that long a period of time.
I can't think of, well, I'm sure there's other industries, but I can't think of any right off the top of my head where I find it very, very important to have that really skilled workforce in those critical positions of both pilot and maintenance technician.
That's right, and it has to be hands-on. So doing things like going in there and training the instructors. We get in there and train the instructors that are going to be teaching these students, and also provide them with the hands-on opportunity, giving them engines that they can have hands-on experience maintaining before they actually get into the real shop.
I mean, this is a large investment by Delta.
It is, but it's a smart one. I mean, you got to do it.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Do you see that sort of widespread throughout the industry? Other airlines you're partnering with, or is this specific to Delta?
Well, these are specifically Delta programs, but there's wide awareness that these aviation jobs could potentially face skill gaps, such as what you study on a daily basis. So I think it's just a matter of each of us getting in there and solving for it.
Yeah.
And it's excellent private sector investment, and ultimately leads to excellent career paths, good solid pay, good benefits, and that's what we want to do at Delta. I mean, ultimately our success as an airline is 100% dependent on our people. And so we do believe that, in addition to investing in the people that are part of Delta right now, which is part of our culture, we've got to ensure that we've got a steady stream of the right type of talent that we can ultimately hire and bring into the company.
And it really is a testament to the leadership of the organization, I think, to really understand that sort of, obviously that clear connection between the importance of your talent and sort of talent being king, right? Yes. You will succeed or fail based on the people that you employ, and being able to sort of have that steady stream of talent into your organization.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. I think we could talk about this all day long. I wanted to ask you one more question just quickly about the junior achievement piece. Do you all, is that sort of widespread across the country, and how many, do you have numbers in terms of high schools and places that you are?
Yeah, so far we've done it with, we pursued this program with over 24 junior achievement chapters, and want to do more. It allows an opportunity for shadowing at a very young age, and like I said, just really piques their interest. And there's nothing like simulations to really give kids a feel for just the broad range of opportunities out there for them.
Absolutely, and I think exposure at that young young age is key, particularly I think when we think about low-income disadvantaged populations where they might not understand or have anyone really in their world who works in those industries. And so, yeah, it's hard to sort of explain to somebody what it's going to be like to be in those positions and to sort of recruit them into it early. So really important. Well, thank you so much for allowing me to sit here with you and have this conversation. As I said, I think we could talk about it all day long, and they're certainly critical. But now I think we have to turn it back over to the Washington Post.